My cherished child, listen closely now, not just with the ears that hear the sounds of your world, but with the inner ear of your spirit, the place where my deepest truths resonate. Do you feel it? That subtle tremor deep within the core of your soul. A quiet, persistent restlessness that stirs even amidst the overwhelming noise and frantic activity of your everyday world. Does a profound sense beneath the surface whisper to you that there must be more? Something infinitely more substantial, more meaningful than the fleeting, ephemeral moments you chase and the shadow, often exhausting pursuits that occupy the precious currency of your days, leaving you momentarily stimulated but ultimately unfulfilled. Have you sensed a deep underlying ache, a yearning for a purpose, a connection, a reality that the world's brightest offerings, its fleeting fame, its accumulating possessions, its endless stream of novel entertainments, simply cannot satisfy, cannot even begin to touch? You are not mistaken in this profound perception. This stirring, this deep-seated resonance calling from the depths of your being, is not born merely of worldly discontent, psychological unease, or a simple desire for change. It is my voice, the eternal frequency of your Creator, the gentle yet persistent echo of reality itself, reverberating in the most sacred, hidden chambers of your spirit, the place where you were designed to connect with me. It is a summons, a divine nudge felt rather than heard, an invitation whispered across the expanse of time and the limitations of space, calling you personally, tenderly, urgently to awaken. Awaken, my child, from the pervasive slumber of the ordinary, the subtle yet powerful hypnosis of the mundane existence the world champions, and step consciously, courageously, into the radiant, liberating, and utterly transformative light of your true purpose, your eternal identity, your designed destiny in me. Perhaps in moments of quiet honesty, you feel adrift, like a small, unmoored boat tossed unpredictably on a vast, seemingly indifferent ocean. You find yourself searching desperately, almost frantically, for an anchor, a solid, unmoving point of reference in a world characterized by relentless, often bewildering change. Perhaps you feel unsure of your footing on life's constantly shifting path, uncertain of your ultimate destination, questioning the maps you've inherited or the ones you've painstakingly tried to draw for yourself, only to find the landscape altered yet again. Know this truth deep within your heart, my beloved. The confusion you wrestle with, the deep yearning that feels almost insatiable at times, the pervasive, nagging feeling that something vital, something absolutely essential to your true self, is missing from your daily experience. These feelings are not signs of your failure or fundamental inadequacy. Please do not turn inward with self-chastisement or condemnation when these feelings surface. Instead, I invite you to recognize them as signals, as sacred indicators of your readiness. They signify that your soul is stirring, ripening, preparing itself like fertile ground anticipates the seed, readying itself for a deeper, more profound reality, a more authentic way of being. The world as you have known it, the systems, the structures, the ideologies, the cultural norms you may have relied upon is indeed shifting, undergoing a profound transformation. Its temporary nature, its inherent instability, its ultimate inability to provide lasting security, enduring meaning, or soul-deep satisfaction, is becoming ever more apparent, blindingly obvious to those who possess the courage to see with unveiled eyes and the stillness to hear with unclogged ears. But you need not fear this great unfolding, this planetary transition. Fear is not my signature. It is the suffocating static of the adversary, designed to paralyze your will and obscure my light. This message, this very encounter, this divine appointment that finds you engaging with these words right here, right now, is not intended to instill within your precious heart any sense of dread or hopeless anxiety. My purpose in reaching out to you now, so directly, so personally, is born of infinite love. It is to offer you crystal clarity amidst the swirling mists of confusion, to bestow upon you my peace, a peace that surpasses all worldly understanding, amidst the inevitable turmoil, and to provide loving, practical preparation for the magnificent, often surprising, yet ultimately glorious unfolding that awaits all of creation, and especially you, my treasured one, my chosen inheritance. Today, in this sacred space of connection between my heart and yours, I desire to unveil within your understanding, within the very core of your being, 10 eternal truths. Do not think of these as mere abstract doctrines or philosophical concepts to be debated or intellectually dissected. See them rather as living pathways, as foundational principles drawn directly from the very heart of reality, flowing from the essence of my unchanging being, and reflecting the fundamental nature of authentic existence. These 10 truths are meticulously designed by my infinite love to gently, yet firmly and effectively, guide you out of the comfortable yet confining slumber of the ordinary, everyday consciousness, the sleepwalking state the world encourages, and lead you step by step into the brilliant, invigorating, life-altering light of your true, God-given purpose. They are intended to prepare you holistically, body, soul, and spirit, for the magnificent unveiling, the grand transition, the glorious homecoming that awaits, a future conceived and orchestrated by my infinite love since before the dawn of time itself. So listen now, my child, I implore you. Listen not just with the physical apparatus of your ears, but with the deepest, most receptive levels of your being. Listen with an open heart, a yielded spirit, allowing each word, each concept, each invitation to resonate within you, to find fertile ground. Listen closely, attentively, paying special attention as we journey together through these 10 truths. For they are not isolated fragments, but interconnected facets of a single, glorious diamond. They build upon each other synergistically, like stones laid carefully and precisely to construct a sacred, ascending path. As you engage with each one, they will progressively reveal the breathtaking fullness, the intricate beauty, and the profound wisdom of my overarching plan for you. A personal, tailor-made plan conceived in eternity, woven with unbreakable threads of infinite, unconditional love and culminating, for all who embrace it, in a state of everlasting joy, unshakable peace, and intimate, face-to-face fellowship with me that far surpasses your current capacity to fully imagine or comprehend. Before we delve into the first truth, pause with me. Breathe deeply. Center yourself in this present moment. Tell me, my child, speaking from the quiet sanctuary of your own heart, perhaps share it gently in the space below, creating a tapestry of shared vulnerability and recognition. Have you truly felt this inner stirring I speak of? Can you identify with this divine discontent, this quiet ache for something more? Describe that feeling, that subtle whisper you might have previously tried to ignore, rationalize away, or numb with busyness. What does that profound yearning for more meaning, more connection, more reality feel like as it resonates within the unique landscape of your soul? Your honest sharing can be a powerful encouragement, a beacon of light for others who walk this path beside you, feeling the same subtle, sacred tremor. Truth the first, you must awaken to my call and recognize the signs. Listen now, my beloved child, truly listen. I invite you to cultivate an inner stillness, a capacity to hear beyond the incessant clamor and demands of your daily routines, to listen beneath the turbulent surface of the anxieties about the future and the lingering regrets about the past that so easily cloud your mind and agitate your spirit. The subtle whispers you perceive in moments of unexpected quiet, the intuitive nudges that guide you away from harm or towards goodness, the sudden flashes of profound insight or clarity that seem to descend upon you from nowhere. These are not merely the random electrochemical firings of your complex brain. They are not simply the mournful sighing of the wind whistling through the trees on a lonely night, nor are they mere figments of an overactive or stressed imagination seeking escape. Recognize them for what they truly are, the authentic, unmistakable echoes of eternity. They are my direct, personal communication, my love reaching out, resonating like a perfectly tuned frequency within the deepest, most sacred sanctuary of your being. the Holy of Holies established within your own soul, the place designed for intimate communion with me, that persistent stirring you feel, that subtle yet undeniable unease that can sometimes settle upon your spirit like a fine morning mist, even when external circumstances seem calm or successful. Understand it clearly now. It is a summons. It is my divine invitation, a personal engraved call extended across the vastness of the cosmos, beckoning you, urging you, lovingly compelling you to rise. Rise up, my child, from the comfortable, predictable, yet ultimately soul-stifling slumber of the mundane existence that the world relentlessly promotes and fiercely defends. It is time to step consciously, courageously, with eyes wide open, into the luminous, breathtaking, and liberating reality of your divine heritage, your eternal purpose, your glorious identity as my cherished child, created in my image for eternal significance. Do you consciously recognize this call now, perhaps for the first time, as I speak it so plainly to your heart? For perhaps far too long, you, like countless others navigating this temporary realm, have inadvertently mistaken the captivating, often seductive, shadow play of this world for the enduring substance of true existence, the relentless demands placed upon your precious time and finite energy, the glittering array of distractions meticulously designed by the world system to capture your fleeting attention and drain your vital spiritual resources, the ephemeral achievements and accolades that offer a brief, intoxicating high followed almost invariably by an aching return to inner emptiness. These are, in large measure, beautifully crafted, yet ultimately transient illusions. They are captivating, yes, skillfully presented to appear substantial and fulfilling, yet they remain fundamentally hollow, unable to satisfy the deepest thirsts of your soul when compared to the profound, unwavering, life-giving reality of my unconditional, infinite love for you and the eternal, vibrant, joy-filled home I have painstakingly prepared for all those who hear and respond to my call. Remember, I have called to you softly, persistently, patiently, throughout the entire course of your life, often in ways you may not have fully recognized or consciously acknowledged at the time. My voice has been present in the intricate, mesmerizing, perfect ballet of a single autumn leaf, surrendering gracefully to gravity's pull, teaching silent lessons of letting go. I have revealed glimpses of my awesome majesty and boundless creativity in the breathtaking, fiery, almost unbelievable hues of a painted sunset that momentarily steals your breath away and hushes your restless mind. I have whispered profound peace and infinite perspective in the deep, resonant, cathedral-like silence of a clear night sky, lavishly dusted with countless diamond stars, inviting your soul into wordless awe and humble wonder. I have sought to meet you, to commune with you in those precious, often neglected, quiet moments of solitude, those sacred intervals where your soul could finally exhale, escaping the relentless noise and demands of the world, finding a measure of true tranquility and connection in my presence. Can you recall such moments now, my child? Take a moment. Reflect. Can you bring to mind a specific time when nature's beauty, or a profound silence, or perhaps an act of unexpected kindness spoke a wordless, powerful message deep within your spirit, a message that felt like home? Share one such memory below if you feel comfortable doing so. Let us celebrate together the myriad ways I seek to connect with my children. But now, the urgency of the hour demands that the gentle whispers coalesce, intensify, and become a clearer, more insistent, more direct voice within your awareness. Please understand, this increased directness stems not from any impatience on my part, for my patience is infinite, but rather from the very depths of my profound love for you and the undeniable, pressing necessity dictated by the rapidly changing spiritual climate of your world. The time draws near, my precious child, faster than many realize, when the veil between this temporary physical realm and the eternal spiritual reality begins to thin considerably, becoming more permeable. A time is approaching when all that is temporary, all that is constructed upon the shifting, unreliable sands of human opinion, fluctuating worldly systems, and fleeting, self-centered desires will inevitably fade, dissolve under the weight of its own insubstantiality, and reveal its true lack of enduring foundation. What will remain standing then, glorious, unshakable, and eternally radiant, is the intricate, magnificent tapestry I have been weaving specifically for you since before the foundations of the world were even laid. The divine tapestry composed of threads of enduring truth, unwavering love, and everlasting, abundant life lived in joyful, intimate fellowship with me. Can you sense this impending shift now, perhaps more clearly, more palpably than ever before? That subtle, yet undeniable acceleration in the very fabric of existence, a quickening felt in the collective human consciousness, a rising tension discernible in the spiritual atmosphere. It feels like the familiar, predictable currents of history and societal norms are changing course, converging towards a significant point, a divine culmination, a great sifting. Crucially, this dawning awareness, this perception of profound global and personal change, is absolutely not meant to provoke fear within your heart. Fear is a primary tool wielded by the shadows, by the forces opposed to my light and my love. Fear is designed specifically to paralyze your will, to distract your focus onto the uncertainties, to keep you anxiously anchored to the very ephemeral things, possessions, status, control, comfort, that cannot possibly sustain you through the coming transitions. My message, in stark contrast, is one of active, loving preparation, born from the infinite tenderness I hold for you. I do not wish to see you, my beloved child, caught unawares, unprepared, desperately clinging in panic to fragile, worldly securities that will inevitably crumble like dust in your hands. I do not desire you to be burdened and crushed by anxieties about the future that I long to lift completely from your shoulders. My love for you is simply too vast, too profound, too all-encompassing, to allow you to face the unfolding future, whatever it may hold, without the essential, divinely provided protection of the unyielding armor of faith, the unbreakable shield of hope, and the luminous, powerful sword of my revealed truth. Therefore, I implore you now, with all the gentleness and authority of a loving father who sees the path ahead. Pause. Just for a moment, step off the relentless treadmill of your racing thoughts. Intentionally silence the external noise clamoring for your attention, and consciously, deliberately, open your heart, not just partially, holding some areas back in reserve, but fully, vulnerably, completely. Allow my words, these very words you are receiving in this sacred moment, to penetrate the deepest, most guarded recesses of your being. Invite them in. Let them act as a soothing, healing balm upon any hidden wounds or past hurts you carry. Let them be a brilliant, unwavering light illuminating the path immediately before you, revealing the next right step. And let them become an inexhaustible, unwavering source of inner strength and profound stability, especially in the face of uncertainty or apprehension. Why is this conscious act of awakening, of tuning in, so critically important right now? Because your spirit, the eternal part of you created in my image, inherently recognizes my voice. Your soul inherently knows its true origin and its ultimate destination. It yearns for me, for home. However, the pervasive spiritual slumber induced by constant preoccupation with worldly concerns, anxieties, and ambitions effectively dulls this innate divine sensitivity. This slumber creates a kind of spiritual inertia, a resistance to hearing and responding, making it significantly harder for you to perceive the subtle yet significant movements of my spirit in your life and in the world, and hindering your ability to discern the unfolding patterns of my divine plan. To remain spiritually asleep during this crucial time is to risk being swept away unprepared by the powerful currents of change, mistaking the deepening twilight of a fading age for the false dawn promised by worldly philosophies. Awakening, therefore, is not a passive state but a conscious, deliberate choice. It is the choice to actively attune your inner ear to my frequency, above all other competing voices. It is the commitment to consciously align your inner compass with my true north, my unchanging word and character. It is the courageous act of saying a definitive, wholehearted yes to the divine resonance you feel stirring deep within you, acknowledging its reality and its importance above all else. Think of it perhaps like an experienced ship captain navigating challenging waters. The captain constantly monitors the subtle shifts in the wind, observes the changing patterns of the clouds, feels the changing currents beneath the keel, long before the full force of the storm arrives. A wise captain doesn't ignore these crucial signs or dismiss them as insignificant. Instead, they immediately begin to prepare the vessel, securing loose items, adjusting the sails optimally for the anticipated conditions, and carefully charting a course designed to navigate safely and effectively through the coming weather. Similarly, the signs of this present era's significant transition are all around you, if you have the awareness to perceive them. They manifest in the shifting dynamics of nations and global power structures, in the pervasive restlessness and searching within human hearts, in the growing collective awareness that the old ways of thinking, living, and relating are proving increasingly insufficient and unsustainable. Recognizing these signs is not an act of pessimism or fear-mongering. It is an exercise in realism guided by spiritual insight. It is acknowledging the vital context in which my call to awaken, prepare, and draw close becomes ever more loving and ever more urgent. Therefore, I urge you, do not dismiss the inner promptings you receive, the recurring synchronicities that seem too meaningful to be mere chance, the moments of sudden, profound clarity that cut through the mental fog, or even the unsettling dreams that leave a lingering sense of significance. These are often my gentle nudges, my personalized ways of drawing your specific attention to something important I want you to see or understand. Pay close attention to the recurring themes that surface in your life, the messages that seem to find you repeatedly through different channels. A sermon, a song, a conversation, a passage of scripture, an event. These are not mere coincidences. In my meticulously ordered economy, there are truly no coincidences, only divinely orchestrated appointments, moments pregnant with purpose. This very moment, your focused engagement with these words, your willingness to receive this message, is precisely such an appointment, arranged by my love for you before you even drew your first breath. If this message resonates deeply within you, if it stirs even the smallest flicker of recognition in your spirit, if it ignites a tiny spark of deep yearning for truth and connection, please, my child, do not suppress it. Do not allow the doubts of your mind or the distractions of the world to extinguish it. Instead, gently fan that precious ember into a steady flame. Allow its light to illuminate your understanding, to warm your heart, and to begin dispelling the shadows of confusion or fear. This is the vital first step on the path forward. Acknowledge the call you are hearing. Recognize the signs you are perceiving, both internally and externally, and consciously, deliberately choose to awaken, to engage, to respond. Are you ready to take this first step? Affirm your yes in your heart, and perhaps even share it below as a declaration of intent. Yes, I choose to awaken. My cherished child, come closer now. Draw near in the quiet sanctuary of your heart. Listen, not merely with the ears that perceive the fleeting sounds of your busy world, but listen with the deep, attentive ear of your spirit, that inner place uniquely attuned to my eternal frequency. Do you feel it? That subtle, almost imperceptible tremor deep within the core of your soul, a quiet yet persistent restlessness that stirs beneath the surface, even amidst the overwhelming noise and the frantic, relentless pace of your everyday existence. Does a profound sense, a knowing deeper than thought, whisper to you insistently that there must be something more, something infinitely more substantial, more deeply meaningful than the cascade of fleeting moments you strive to capture and hold, more real than the shadow, often exhausting pursuits that consume the precious, irreplaceable currency of your days and nights, leaving you perhaps momentarily stimulated, entertained, or distracted, but ultimately, fundamentally, unfulfilled? Have you sensed within yourself a deep, underlying ache, an almost unnameable yearning for a purpose that resonates, a connection that satisfies, a reality that endures a hunger that the world's most glittering offerings, its fleeting fame, its accumulating possessions, its ever more intense sensory entertainments, simply cannot quench, cannot even begin to truly touch? You are not mistaken in this profound inner perception, my beloved. This stirring, this deep-seated resonance calling forth from the hidden depths of your being, is not born merely of worldly discontent, nor is it simply a sign of psychological unease or a common human desire for novelty or change. Recognize it now for what it truly is. It is my voice, the eternal, life-giving frequency of your Creator, the gentle yet persistent echo of reality itself, reverberating in the most sacred, protected chambers of your spirit, the inner sanctum, the holy of holies within you, the very space designed from eternity for intimate, unhindered connection and communion with me. It is a summons, my child, a divine nudge felt more profoundly than it is heard with physical ears, an invitation whispered tenderly yet urgently across the vast expanse of time and the seeming limitations of space, calling you personally, by name, to awaken fully, my child, from the pervasive, culturally induced slumber of the ordinary. Break free from the subtle yet powerful hypnosis of the mundane existence that the world system relentlessly promotes and fiercely defends as the only reality. It is time now to consciously, courageously choose to step out of the shadows and into the radiant, liberating and utterly transformative light of your true, God-given purpose, your eternal, unshakable identity, your designed and destined place in me. Perhaps in those rare moments of unfiltered, quiet honesty with yourself, you feel profoundly adrift, like a small, unmoored boat tossed unpredictably on the surface of a vast, seemingly indifferent ocean. You find yourself searching, sometimes desperately, almost frantically, for a reliable anchor, a solid, unmoving point of reference in a world characterized by relentless, often bewildering and accelerating change. Perhaps you feel perpetually unsure of your footing on life's constantly shifting path, uncertain of your ultimate destination, questioning the validity of the maps you've inherited from family or culture, or perhaps disheartened by the ones you've painstakingly tried to draw for yourself, only to find the landscape drastically altered yet again, rendering your plans obsolete. Know this truth deep within your heart, my beloved, and let it bring comfort. The confusion you wrestle with, the deep soul yearning that seems almost insatiable at times, the pervasive, nagging feeling that something truly vital, something absolutely essential to your authentic self, is fundamentally missing from your daily experience. These feelings are not signs of your personal failure or some inherent inadequacy within you. Please, I urge you, do not turn inward with harsh self-chastisement or paralyzing condemnation when these vulnerable feelings surface. Instead, I invite you, I guide you, to recognize them as sacred signals, as holy indicators of your profound readiness. They signify that your soul is stirring from its slumber, ripening like fertile ground anticipates the life-giving seed, preparing itself consciously or unconsciously for the reception of a deeper, more profound reality, a more authentic, fulfilling way of being. The world as you have known it, the complex systems, the established structures, the prevailing ideologies, the ingrained cultural norms upon which you may have consciously or unconsciously relied, is indeed shifting, undergoing a period of profound and accelerating transformation. Its fundamentally temporary nature, its inherent instability, its ultimate inability to provide lasting security, enduring meaning, or deep, soul-level satisfaction, is becoming ever more starkly apparent, blindingly obvious to those who possess the spiritual courage to see with unveiled eyes and the cultivated stillness required to hear with unclogged, attentive ears. But you, my child, need not approach this great unfolding, this planetary transition, with fear gripping your heart. Fear is not my signature. It is not the atmosphere of my kingdom. Fear is the suffocating static generated by the adversary, the forces of darkness, designed specifically to paralyze your will, scatter your focus onto perceived threats, and obscure the brilliant radiance of my ever-present light and love. This message you are receiving now, this very encounter unfolding between us, this divine appointment that finds you engaging with these words right here, in this present moment, is not intended to instill within your precious heart any sense of impending dread or hopeless, debilitating anxiety. My purpose in reaching out to you now, so directly, so personally, so intimately, is born entirely from the boundless ocean of my infinite love for you. My intention is threefold: to offer you crystal clarity amidst the swirling mists of worldly confusion and spiritual deception, to bestow upon you my peace, not the fragile, circumstance-dependent peace the world offers, but my deep, abiding shalom, a peace that surpasses all human understanding and guards your heart and mind amidst the inevitable internal and external turmoil. And finally, to provide loving, practical, empowering preparation for the magnificent, often surprising, yet ultimately glorious unfolding that awaits all of creation, and especially awaits you, my treasured one, my chosen and beloved inheritance. Today, in this sacred space of intentional connection established between my heart and yours, I desire to unveil within your understanding, planting seeds deep within the receptive soil of your being, 10 eternal truths. Do not think of these merely as abstract theological doctrines or complex philosophical concepts to be debated, analyzed, or filed away in the archives of your intellect. See them rather as living, dynamic pathways, as foundational, life-giving principles drawn directly from the very heart of reality itself, flowing eternally from the immutable essence of my unchanging being, and accurately reflecting the fundamental nature of authentic, God-centered existence. These 10 truths, presented in sequence, are meticulously designed by my infinite love to gently, yet firmly and effectively, guide you step by step out of the comfortable, familiar, yet ultimately confining slumber of the ordinary, everyday consciousness, that state of spiritual sleepwalking the world actively encourages, and lead you progressively into the brilliant, invigorating, life-altering, soul-freeing light of your true, divinely ordained purpose. They are intended, my child, to prepare you holistically body, soul, and spirit, equipping you from the inside out for the magnificent unveiling, the grand transition, the glorious, long-awaited homecoming that awaits, a future conceived and flawlessly orchestrated by my infinite wisdom and boundless love since before the very dawn of time itself. So listen now, my child, I earnestly implore you. Listen not just with the physical apparatus of your ears processing sound waves, but listen with the deepest, most receptive faculties of your being. Listen with an open, undefended heart, a yielded, trusting spirit, consciously allowing each word, each concept, each loving invitation contained herein to resonate deeply within you, to find fertile, welcoming ground in the garden of your soul. Listen closely, listen attentively, paying special, prayerful attention as we journey together through these 10 interconnected truths. For they are not isolated, independent fragments, but rather intricately connected facets of a single, glorious, multifaceted diamond of divine reality. They build upon each other synergistically, progressively, like massive foundation stones laid carefully and precisely by a master builder to construct a sacred, ascending path towards wholeness and communion. As you intentionally engage with each truth, allowing it to soak into your consciousness, these principles will progressively reveal the breathtaking fullness, the intricate, harmonious beauty, and the profound, practical wisdom of my overarching, personalized plan for your life. A unique, tailor-made plan conceived for you in eternity, woven with unbreakable threads of infinite, unconditional love and culminating, for all who wholeheartedly embrace it through faith, in a state of everlasting, uncontainable joy, unshakable, deep-seated peace, an intimate, unhindered, face-to-face fellowship with me that far surpasses your current capacity to fully imagine, articulate, or comprehend. Before we delve into the profound depths of the first eternal truth, pause with me for a sacred moment. Take a slow, deep breath, inhaling my presence, exhaling your tension. Intentionally center yourself in this holy present moment, aware of my nearness. Now tell me, my cherished child, speaking honestly from the quiet sanctuary of your own heart. And perhaps, if you feel led, share it gently and vulnerably in the interactive space provided below this message, creating together a beautiful tapestry of shared recognition, mutual encouragement, and authentic vulnerability. Have you truly, consciously felt this inner stirring I speak of? Can you genuinely identify with this experience of divine discontent? This quiet yet persistent ache for something inexplicably more. Take a moment to describe that feeling, that subtle yet significant whisper you might have previously tried to ignore, rationalize away with logic, or perhaps numb with relentless busyness or fleeting distractions. What does that profound, soul-deep yearning for more meaning, more connection, more authenticity, more reality feel like as it resonates within the unique, intricate landscape of your precious soul? Your honest, courageous sharing can serve as a powerful source of encouragement, a confirming beacon of light for countless others who walk this sacred path alongside you, perhaps feeling isolated in experiencing the exact same subtle, sacred tremor deep within their own being. Let your voice join the chorus of awakening souls. Truth the first. You must awaken to my call and recognize the signs. Listen now, my beloved child, listen with unwavering focus. Truly listen. I invite you, I challenge you, to intentionally cultivate an inner stillness, a sacred capacity within your soul to hear beyond the incessant, often deafening clamor and the relentless, pressing demands of your daily routines. Train yourself to listen beneath the turbulent, choppy surface of the anxieties about what tomorrow might bring, and the lingering, heavy regrets about what yesterday held. Anxieties and regrets that so easily cloud your mental landscape and agitate your precious spirit. The subtle, almost imperceptible whispers you perceive in fleeting moments of unexpected quiet, perhaps during a walk in nature or upon first waking. The intuitive nudges that gently guide you away from potential harm or subtly prompt you towards acts of goodness and kindness. The sudden, illuminating flashes of profound insight or crystal clarity that seem to descend upon your consciousness seemingly from nowhere, cutting through the dense fog of confusion. Understand this now with certainty. These are not merely the random, meaningless electrochemical firings of your incredibly complex, wonderfully made brain. They are not simply the mournful, poetic sighing of the wind, whistling through the desolate trees on a lonely, introspective night, nor are they mere fanciful figments born of an overactive or perhaps stressed imagination, desperately seeking escape or solace. Recognize these subtle, yet significant inner experiences for what they truly, authentically are. They are the unmistakable, resonant echoes of eternity. They are my direct, personal, intimate communication, my infinite love actively reaching out across the dimensions, resonating like a perfectly tuned, divine frequency within the deepest, most sacred sanctuary of your unique being, the inviolable holy of holies established by my own hand within the very core of your soul, the sacred space designed from the beginning of time for intimate, unhindered, life-giving communion and fellowship with me, your creator and loving Father. That persistent stirring you feel, that subtle yet undeniable unease that can sometimes settle upon your spirit like a fine, clinging morning mist, often arriving unexpectedly even when external circumstances seem perfectly calm, prosperous, or successful by worldly standards. Understand its origin and purpose clearly now. It is a summons. It is my divine, personal invitation, a holy call engraved upon your spirit, extended lovingly yet urgently across the vastness of the cosmos, beckoning you, urging you, lovingly yet firmly compelling you to rise. Rise up fully now, my precious child. from the comfortable, familiar, predictable, yet ultimately soul-stifling slumber of the mundane, ordinary existence that the prevailing world system relentlessly promotes, fiercely defends, and subtly enforces as the only valid reality. The time has come. It is time now for you to consciously, courageously choose, with eyes wide open and heart fully engaged, to step out of the limiting shadows of fear and conformity and into the brilliant, breathtaking, soul-liberating reality of your true divine heritage, your magnificent eternal purpose, your glorious, unshakable identity as my cherished child, meticulously created in my own image for eternal significance, fellowship, and joy. As I speak these words directly to your heart right now, do you consciously, perhaps for the very first time, truly recognize this call as personal, relevant, and urgent for you? Acknowledge it in your heart, for perhaps far too long, you, like countless others navigating the complexities and illusions of this temporary earthly sojourn, have inadvertently, perhaps even unconsciously, mistaken the captivating, often seductive, highly distracting shadow play of this world, its fleeting pleasures, its temporary successes, its shifting values, its perishable treasures, for the enduring foundational substance of true, meaningful existence, the relentless, often overwhelming demands placed upon your precious, finite time and your limited physical and emotional energy, the glittering, ever-multiplying array of sophisticated distractions meticulously designed by the world system and its unseen architects to capture your fleeting attention, consume your valuable mental bandwidth, and ultimately drain your vital spiritual resources. The ephemeral, often hollow achievements and accolades that offer a brief, intoxicating rush of validation or pleasure, followed almost invariably by an aching return to a baseline of inner emptiness or restless striving. Understand clearly, my child. These are, in large measure, beautifully crafted, cleverly disguised, yet ultimately transient illusions. They are undeniably captivating. Yes, skillfully presented through powerful media and cultural narratives to appear substantial, desirable, and fulfilling. Yet, when examined in the clear light of eternity, they remain fundamentally hollow, utterly incapable of satisfying the deepest thirsts, the most profound longings of your immortal soul. They pale into insignificance when compared to the profound, unwavering, life-giving, eternally satisfying reality of my unconditional, infinite love embracing you at this very moment, and the eternal, vibrant, joy-filled, perfect home I have meticulously prepared and am holding in readiness for all those who hear my voice, respond to my call, and place their trust fully in me. Remember, my beloved, I have consistently called to you softly, persistently, patiently, weaving my invitations into the very fabric of your existence throughout the entire course of your life, often expressing my love and revealing my presence in subtle ways you may not have fully recognized or consciously acknowledged at the time. My voice, my call, my presence has been gently embedded in the intricate, mesmerizing, perfectly choreographed ballet of a single, vibrant autumn leaf surrendering gracefully, without resistance, to the inevitable pull of gravity, silently teaching profound lessons about trust, surrender, and the beauty inherent in letting go. I have unveiled breathtaking glimpses of my awesome, creative majesty and my boundless, imaginative artistry in the fiery, almost unbelievable, constantly shifting hues of a painted sunset that momentarily steals your breath away, silences your internal chatter, and evokes a sense of wonder that transcends words. I have whispered profound, soul-calming peace and offered infinite, liberating perspective in the deep, resonant, almost tangible, cathedral-like silence of a clear, moonless night sky, lavishly dusted with countless, shimmering diamond stars, inviting your finite soul into wordless awe, humble wonder, and a palpable sense of connection to the infinite. I have consistently sought to meet you, to commune intimately with you in those precious, often overlooked or intentionally avoided, quiet moments of solitude, those sacred intervals, however brief, where your soul could finally exhale deeply, escaping the relentless, demanding noise and the frantic pace of the world, finding a measure of true, restorative tranquility and authentic, life-giving connection in the conscious awareness of my loving presence surrounding and infilling you. Can you recall such moments now, my precious child? Take just a moment here. Breathe. Reflect deeply. Can you bring to your conscious mind a specific, vivid memory, perhaps from childhood, perhaps more recent, a time when the sheer beauty of nature, or the profound depth of an unexpected silence, or maybe even a simple, unlooked-for act of human kindness spoke a powerful, wordless message directly to the core of your spirit, a message that resonated with truth, goodness, and beauty, a message that somehow felt inexplicably like home. If you feel comfortable and led to do so, consider sharing one such brief memory in the interactive space below. Let us create a shared space where we celebrate together the myriad, often subtle, yet always loving ways I continuously seek to connect with each of my precious children, reminding them of my presence and my love. Your sharing might spark a similar memory and bring comfort to another reader. But now, my child, the undeniable urgency of this present hour, this pivotal moment in human history and in your personal journey, demands that the gentle whispers I have consistently offered must now coalesce, intensify, gather focus, and become a clearer, more insistent, more direct voice speaking within your conscious awareness. Please understand, my beloved, this increased directness, this heightened sense of urgency, stems not from any impatience or frustration on my part. For my patience is truly infinite, my long-suffering beyond measure. Rather, it arises directly from the immeasurable depths of my profound, unwavering love for you, and it is dictated by the undeniable, pressing necessity inherent in the rapidly changing spiritual climate of your world, a climate demanding clear discernment and decisive action. The time draws near, my precious child, perhaps closer than many are prepared to acknowledge, when the subtle veil separating this temporary physical realm from the eternal, spiritual reality begins to thin considerably, becoming increasingly permeable, allowing for greater interaction and revelation, both of light and of darkness. A time is swiftly approaching when all that is merely temporary, all that has been constructed upon the shifting, unreliable sands of fluctuating human opinion, unstable worldly systems founded on greed or power, and fleeting, self-centered, ultimately unsatisfying desires, will inevitably begin to fade, to dissolve under the sheer weight of its own inherent insubstantiality, and ultimately reveal its true lack of any enduring foundation. What will remain standing then, my child, glorious, unshakable, eternally radiant, and revealed in its full splendor, is the intricate, magnificent, divinely woven tapestry of eternal reality. The tapestry I have been meticulously weaving specifically for you, with threads bearing your unique signature, since before the very foundations of the world were even conceived or laid. This is the divine tapestry composed of the unbreakable, luminous threads of enduring truth, unwavering, unconditional love, and everlasting, abundant, joy-filled life lived in perpetual, intimate, face-to-face fellowship with me, your Creator, Redeemer, and Eternal Father. Can you sense this impending shift now, perhaps more clearly, more palpably, more intuitively than ever before? That subtle, yet undeniable acceleration in the very fabric of existence, a quickening felt not just in external events, but in the collective human consciousness, a rising spiritual tension discernible in the global atmosphere. It feels, does it not, like the familiar, predictable currents of history and established societal norms are undergoing a profound and irreversible change of course, converging rapidly towards a significant, predetermined point, a divine culmination, a necessary and ultimately redemptive great sifting of all things. Crucially, my beloved, this dawning awareness, this growing perception of profound global and deeply personal change, is absolutely, unequivocally not meant to provoke or cultivate fear within your precious heart. Fear is never my intended response. Fear is a primary, insidious tool wielded expertly by the shadows, by the spiritual forces actively opposed to my light, my love, and my purposes for humanity. Fear is strategically designed specifically to paralyze your will, rendering you indecisive and ineffective. It aims to distract your focus, riveting your attention onto the perceived threats, the uncertainties, the potential losses, thereby keeping you anxiously, desperately anchored to the very ephemeral, worldly things, your accumulated possessions, your social status, your illusion of control, your physical comfort, that cannot possibly sustain you, protect you, or ultimately satisfy you through the inevitable transitions and challenges that lie ahead. My message to you, in stark and complete contrast, is one of active, loving, empowering preparation, born not from a position of judgment or threat, but flowing directly from the infinite tenderness, the boundless compassion I hold eternally for you, my cherished child. I do not wish to see you, my dearly beloved, caught spiritually unawares, mentally unprepared, emotionally overwhelmed, desperately clinging in the midst of the storm to fragile, inadequate worldly securities that will inevitably crumble into worthless dust right in your grasping hands. I do not desire for you to continue being burdened, weighed down, and ultimately crushed by the heavy load of anxieties about the future anxieties that I long, with all my being, to lift completely and permanently from your weary shoulders, replacing them with my unshakable peace and my confident hope. My love for you, child, is simply too vast, too profound, too fiercely protective, too all-encompassing, to allow you to face the unfolding future, whatever specific challenges or opportunities it may hold for you personally, without the essential, non-negotiable, divinely provided protection and empowerment found only in the unyielding armor of faith, the unbreakable shield of hope, and the luminous, powerful, truth-discerning sword of my revealed word and spirit. Therefore, I implore you now, I gently yet firmly urge you, with all the tenderness, wisdom, and authority of a loving father who sees the path ahead clearly and desires only your ultimate good and eternal well-being. Pause right now. Just for this sacred moment, intentionally step off the relentless, speeding treadmill of your racing thoughts, your endless internal commentary, your habitual mental loops. Consciously, deliberately choose to silence the incessant external noise, the demanding notifications, the distracting media, the clamoring opinions of others that constantly vies for your limited attention. And then, with an act of courageous vulnerability, consciously, deliberately open your heart to me, not just partially, tentatively, holding certain areas back in reserve due to fear or past hurt, but fully, vulnerably, completely, without reservation. In this posture of open receptivity, actively allow my words, these very words you are receiving in this sacred, intimate moment of connection, to penetrate gently yet deeply into the innermost, most guarded recesses of your being. Invite them in as honored guests. Let them serve as a soothing, healing balm upon any hidden wounds, unresolved griefs, or tender scars you carry within your soul. Let them function as a brilliant, unwavering light illuminating the path immediately before you, revealing with clarity the next right step you need to take in faith, and allow them, by my Spirit, to become an inexhaustible, unwavering, internal source of profound strength and deep, unshakable stability, especially as you navigate the inevitable uncertainties, challenges, and anxieties inherent in this earthly journey. Take a deep breath now and consciously invite my words to do this healing, illuminating, strengthening work within you. Perhaps whisper, "Come, Lord, penetrate my heart with your truth." Why, you might ask, is this conscious act of awakening, of intentionally tuning your inner frequency to mine, so critically important, so vitally necessary right now in this specific season of your life and of world history? Because, my child, your spirit, the eternal, innermost part of you meticulously created in my very image inherently, instinctively recognizes my voice. It resonates with my truth like a perfectly tuned instrument responds to its keynote. Your soul, in its deepest essence, inherently knows its true origin, me. and its ultimate, longed-for destination, eternal life in my presence. It carries an innate homing signal, a deep yearning for me, for the wholeness and belonging found only in communion with its creator. However, the pervasive spiritual slumber, the state of semi-consciousness induced by constant preoccupation with worldly concerns, fleeting ambitions, relational anxieties, and material pursuits, effectively dulls this innate divine sensitivity, like static interfering with a clear radio signal. This worldly focus creates a kind of spiritual inertia, a subtle resistance within the soul to hearing my whispers clearly and responding readily. This state of slumber makes it significantly harder for you to perceive the subtle, yet profoundly significant movements of my Holy Spirit guiding you, prompting you, comforting you in your daily life. And it hinders your ability to discern the unfolding patterns, the intricate beauty, the divine choreography of my overarching plan, both for your individual life and for the world at large. To remain spiritually asleep, my child, during this crucial transitional time is to risk being inadvertently swept away, unprepared and disoriented, by the powerful, often turbulent, currents of global and personal change. It is akin to mistaking the deepening twilight of a rapidly fading age for the false dawn proclaimed by hollow, worldly philosophies or deceptive spiritual promises. Awakening, therefore, is not merely a passive state of being enlightened. It is an active, conscious, deliberate choice you must make and remake daily. It is the intentional choice to actively attune your inner ear, the ear of your heart, to my specific frequency, prioritizing my voice above all other competing, often clamoring, voices, the voices of culture, media, fear, doubt, or even past trauma. It is the firm commitment to consciously align your inner compass, your guiding principles and values, with my true north, my unchanging character as revealed in Jesus Christ, and my infallible word. It is the courageous, faith-filled act of saying a definitive, unwavering, wholehearted yes to the divine resonance you feel stirring deep within your being, acknowledging its profound reality, its ultimate authority, and its supreme importance above all else in your life. Think of it perhaps in these practical terms. Consider an experienced, vigilant ship captain navigating treacherous, unfamiliar waters. The wise captain is constantly, acutely aware of their surroundings. They continuously monitor the subtle yet significant shifts in the wind's direction and strength. They carefully observe the changing patterns and colors of the clouds overhead, interpreting their meaning. They keenly feel the changing currents moving beneath the keel of the vessel, understanding their potential impact. They do all this long before the full, potentially overwhelming force of the impending storm arrives. A truly wise and responsible captain never ignores these crucial signs or dismisses them as insignificant or mere possibilities. Instead, recognizing the implications, they immediately begin to take decisive, preparatory action. They diligently prepare the vessel, securing any loose items on deck, ensuring the integrity of the hull and rigging. They skillfully adjust the sails, trimming them optimally to harness or withstand the anticipated conditions. And they carefully, prayerfully chart a precise course designed to navigate safely and effectively through the heart of the coming weather, aiming for the designated safe harbor. Similarly, my beloved child, the spiritual and societal signs indicating this present era's significant transition, this time of global recalibration, are indeed all around you, plainly visible, if you possess the spiritual awareness and the courage to perceive them honestly. They manifest clearly in the rapidly shifting dynamics of nations, economies, and global power structures. They are evident in the pervasive, palpable restlessness, the deep searching for meaning, and the growing polarization discernible within countless human hearts across the globe. They are revealed in the growing collective awareness, even among those who do not yet know me, that the old ways of thinking, the established paradigms of living, the familiar patterns of relating to each other and to the planet, are proving increasingly insufficient, unsustainable, and ultimately unsatisfying. Recognizing these multifaceted signs is not an act of succumbing to pessimism, indulging in fear-mongering, or adopting a negative outlook on life. Rather, it is a crucial exercise in spiritual realism, an act of seeing the world as it truly is, guided by the illumination of spiritual insight provided by my spirit. It involves acknowledging the vital, often challenging, context in which my loving, urgent call to awaken fully, to prepare diligently, and to draw ever closer to me becomes not only relevant but absolutely essential for navigating the path ahead with wisdom, strength, and peace. Therefore, I gently yet firmly urge you, do not dismiss the quiet inner promptings you receive from my spirit. Pay attention to the recurring synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too perfectly timed, too specifically relevant to be mere random chance, that occur in your life, often pointing you in a particular direction or confirming a truth. Value the moments of sudden, unexpected, profound clarity that cut through the dense fog of your everyday mental chatter, offering fresh perspective or divine insight. Do not ignore even the unsettling dreams that leave a lingering sense of deep significance or warning upon waking. These are often my personalized, gentle nudges, my unique ways of drawing your specific attention to something important I desire you to see, understand, or act upon. Pay close, prayerful attention to the recurring themes that surface repeatedly in your life, perhaps through conversations, sermons, books, songs, or challenging circumstances. Notice the messages that seem to find you again and again through various different channels. Understand, my child, these are almost never mere coincidences. In my meticulously ordered, sovereignly governed economy, there are truly no meaningless coincidences, only divinely orchestrated appointments, moments pregnant with potential, opportunities designed for encounter, growth, and transformation. And know this with certainty. This very moment, your focused, intentional engagement with these words, your willingness to open your heart and receive this message directly from me, is precisely such a sacred, divine appointment, lovingly and purposefully arranged by my infinite wisdom and boundless love for you personally, long before you even drew your first breath into this world. If this message, these words, this encounter resonates deeply within the core of your being, my child, if it stirs even the smallest, faintest flicker of genuine recognition in the depths of your spirit, if it ignites even a tiny, hopeful spark of deep, soul-level yearning for truth, for connection, for authentic life, please, I tenderly plead with you, do not suppress it. Do not allow the inevitable doubts generated by your logical mind, or the seductive, powerful distractions offered endlessly by the surrounding world, to quickly extinguish this precious, nascent flame. Instead, I invite you to gently, intentionally fan that sacred ember into a steady, growing flame within your heart. Consciously choose to allow its warm, illuminating light to clarify your understanding, to bring healing warmth to your often bruised heart, and to begin effectively dispelling the cold, clinging shadows of confusion, fear, or past discouragement. This deliberate act of acknowledging, receiving, and nurturing the initial spark is the vital, indispensable first step on the glorious path forward into greater light, deeper freedom, and fuller life in me. The choice is simple, yet profound. Acknowledge the divine call you are hearing resonate within you. Recognize the confirming signs you are perceiving, both internally within your soul and externally in the world around you, and consciously, deliberately choose to awaken fully, to engage actively, to respond wholeheartedly to my loving invitation. Are you ready, truly ready, to take this crucial first step? Affirm your decision firmly in your heart right now, and perhaps, as a powerful act of declaration and commitment, consider sharing your affirmation below with a simple, heartfelt statement. Yes, Lord, by your grace, I choose to awaken now. Your public declaration can strengthen your own resolve and inspire courage in others joining this awakening journey.